And good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Welcome to The Works. I'm Keith Williams, your host. And The Works is a general interest program to where we talk about anything and everything, whether it's top news of the day, or we have like a human interest story to tell. We have all sorts of people to come up here to talk about a variety of topics and subjects. And we get to hear people from all over to share their stories or their testimonies. Is a place and a platform to where people can be people, they can be themselves. This is a non-judgment zone here. So today we have Kenny Ingersoll. He is an entrepreneur, financial professional, speaker, and mentor. His passions is helping and serving others. He loves helping others get a jump start on life and reduce some of the if I only knew at your age what I know by sharing his knowledge and experience with everyone he can. In February of 2021, he started a show called Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities, where he and his guests hosts talk about all things under those topics. He's currently in the process of writing a few books. Welcome to the show, Kenny.
Awesome. Thank you for having me here.
So I, read the description that was given to me, but I would like for the audience to know in your own words who you are.
So yeah, like you said, my name is Kenny Ingersoll, husband, father, business owner, business professional, mentor, coach, traveler, and yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Excuse me.
So it looks like you wear a lot of hats. Does it get overwhelming or exhausting at times that you wear all these hats, or do you actually? So what is it about your work that you like to do?
So to answer both, I like I said, like you said, helping and serving others, and that's what I do with a lot of what I all the hats that I wear is helping others. So it's a passion of mine. So it's like the saying, if you do what you love, then you never work a day in your life, kind of thing. And also because everything meshes so well in my life, because it all blends into who I am. My businesses, my family, my church responsibilities, my community responsibilities. It all meshes because it's who I am, part of me, that it helps to reduce and eliminate a lot of the overwhelming factor.
So you mentioned a lot about your whole. So you mentioned that you like to help people. So what are some of the things that you do that makes a difference in the lives of the people that you encounter? So kind of break down some of the things that that you do.
So one of them is on the financial side. I help people understand and change their mindset around money and what it is and what it isn't. And get a better grasp and make money work for you versus you work for money. And then also, again, like it says in the description, I try to help people. If only I'd have known 20 years ago, I try people help eliminate some of that. By sharing my experience of things that I wish I'd have known 20 years ago. I could share it with them so they get that head start, that jump start, if you will.
I think we all have that. If I knew, because I go through this too. Like, I would say something like, if I knew now what I knew 20 years ago, I wouldn't have go through this particular experience. What do you say to people that's speak like that? Because I know sometimes that goes through my mind as well. Is that if I knew what I knew now, what I did 20 years ago, I could have avoided some of these things. So what do you have to say for people that are talking along those?
Real simply put is be open-minded to what others have to say. If somebody's got the 20 years experience, be open-minded to applying what they give you into your life.
So you're a motivational speaker and you're a mentor. Do you do like a lot of conferences or workshops, or do you go to various places to speak? And so we'll start with that.
So I go a lot of within the businesses and the people that I work with and my clients is who I speak to. And then on my show, Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities, I do a lot of that mentorship through my show there.
Okay. Yes. So you do have. So is it like a podcast? Or are you on the radio?
Yeah, it's a live stream podcast, and I often have guests on that talk about their passions and why they do what they do, and we can share that knowledge and experience together with our listeners, with our different groups, circles, whatever you want to call it, and help as many people back up a second, and cross-pollinate, if you will, into each other's influence circle, and to help people as much as we can that way.
So who would be considered? And so, what is the audience makeup of your podcast and the people that you have? So what is the audience makeup?
I get people all across all boards or all walks of life listening to the show, whether live or replay. I stream across about 5 or 6 channels at the moment. So between all the replay, I get people all walks of life.
So what are some of the things that you talk about? So so pretend you got on your speaker's hat right now. So what are some of the things that you talk about?
One of the things that gets brought up a lot, because it's always worth repeating, is being you and I just lost my train of thought. But being you and doing it your way. Don't be afraid of what others think. Don't be afraid of not getting enough likes or not getting the back support from whoever. Just being you and doing you. And being who you are.
So let's talk a little bit about your podcast. So it's called Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. So walk me through a particular podcast, which is the first question. The second question is, how are people able to find your podcast so that they can tune into it?
So a little more clarity, if you will, walk me through. You want to know like what is behind it, how the show goes. Sorry, just a little more clarity on that, please.
Um, yeah, that's a great place to start.
So yeah, I just bring people on and we share, exactly what it says. Passion, what you're passionate about, living your purpose and exploring the possibilities. People are so zoned in or have blinders on because society is ingrained into us. Don't stand out, don't do your own thing. Fit in, be like everyone else. So people are afraid to explore the possibilities of what's out there. So we talk about that and giving yourself permission to do those things, to be you, to try different things, you know. And we don't have a set script on there, so the show can go wherever it goes, however long it goes. And we just talk, but about what the guest is passionate about. And then
I don't know of any podcast that's actually been scripted. They follow like a different a set script. It's like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I ever ran across a podcast today that, have like this, script to follow, and everything. I think that if and this is my opinion, that an unscripted podcast is more authentic because people are able to be themselves, and they don't have to be politically correct because if you go like mainstream TV and radio, yeah, in some cases you can't not really be yourself. You have to, I mean, you can be yourself, but it's not your whole self. There's some political correctness that you have to follow and all of that. But particularly in a podcast, you really don't, have to be. I know quite a bit of podcasters when they have shows, they don't follow a particular script. They just, let that person shine as it should be, because only in podcasting, where people can actually be their genuine selves, and they can let themselves go. I don't know too many podcasters that are biased and judgmental, especially when it comes to sensitive topics. And we had a lot of sensitive topics on the podcast in the last 5 years, especially in the news department. So again, we let people, be themselves, and we let people, tell their story, whether we agree with it or not. So we allow people to judge the content. So I think as hosts, we should be neutral. But there is a fine line between what is fact and what is opinion. And I know over years I have done some commentary over some things that I don't agree with, but I don't do it in front of that person, unless it's something that I know is, not right, and I will correct them on air. Um, haven't done that a whole lot, kind of give them a heads up. Okay, I'm the type of person that when I do interviews, I especially when it comes to certain topics, that I ask a tough question. So, and when I, book my guests, I let them know, okay, just let you know ahead of time, that I have a reputation of asking the tough questions. So don't be alarmed, don't be nervous. It's just who I am, because a lot of times we find out that sometimes, you can't really get the whole truth out of mainstream media, and you always see the same people all the time. with the same information. So podcasts in the last 5 years, have gotten people that, mainstream media otherwise would not have on their, programs. And they really come with some interesting information, uh, new concepts. They take a new spin on subjects. And so that's the part about podcasting, that I like. So I extended that question to you. What's the best thing that you like about hosting your own show?
Oh, I love the connections that I make.
The connections?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I,
connections, meeting different people.
yeah, I mean, I can definitely agree with you on that. Love making the connections and meeting different people. And um, I know recently there are some guests that really enjoy, would like for them to come back a second time. I think we had a person that came on twice recently because I like her spin on certain topics. Sometimes we do get into like heated discussions or debates, but at the end of the day, you know we're able to find some type of common ground. And again, you don't see that you don't see that a lot on radio and television. It's only at a podcast to where we can stretch the limits. And none of us are journalists. I do not call myself a journalist, but I enjoy what I do. And most of the time, the people that you have on your shows not only have an interesting story to tell, but they bring some truth that you can't find on mainstream, media, and obviously, that's a thing that definitely needs to change because, again, you don't get the numbers that we don't get the numbers that we hope for, in podcasting. But I think if we continue to put ourselves out there, that we will actually, get the numbers. But for me, it's not really about numbers. It's about providing a safe platform for people to, be themselves. And I think that's one way that we can definitely make a difference in the lives of people. And I'm quite sure that you share, that same sentiment, or you may have something, different, that you want to share that is probably different from my experience in podcasts. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so for me, it's not about the numbers, the viewers, the likes so much. Excuse me, because I know that even if I have 0 viewers on the live, it's gonna find the right ears. That the message is gonna find the right person eventually when it needs to. So that's my concern, is just being genuine, sharing the story, sharing those experiences, and the message will find the right ears when it's right time.
So what platforms do you broadcast?
So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and actually 2 on Facebook. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
Yeah, I still have to, work out how can I do the lives on Facebook and YouTube. Haven't got that far yet. So we do recordings here on Zoom, but then we upload it to Facebook and YouTube. And then we have Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. So we're on that. And so now the best thing about Anchor is that I can upload episodes to Anchor, and then it would appear on all the other platforms. because when I signed up for these other platforms I just mentioned, the only thing I put in was the website address to the Anchor, the link to where all the podcasts is called an RSS feed. I only had to put that. So every time I upload an episode of a podcast to Anchor, it would appear on all the other podcasts. So I don't have to go through each one and manually upload the episode and do all this tweaking and stuff like that. So it really saves time for me to upload all the episodes. But I think eventually we will do the live on Facebook and the live on YouTube. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But overall, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy meeting new people and talking to all sorts of individuals. Like I said earlier, this is a platform that we hope that will be a safe platform for individuals to come on here. And we have people on here that may not necessarily have an opportunity to be on the mainstream. Those are the people that we come after. And so you've been on for your podcast for over a year now. So how do you feel that so it's been over a year since you started your show. So how do you feel about going over that year threshold? So we know for podcasting, the first year can always be kind of difficult because you're trying to find your audience and try to make sure that people are able to find you and things of that nature. So how do you feel about going over that threshold?
I love it. I'm glad I was able to. I was kind of surprised because when the 1 year mark came up, it didn't even feel like a year. It's like, has it been a year already? But just because I've been having so much fun connecting and meeting people and hearing their stories, and they've expanded my vision as well. And so it's been a great ball of fun, and I've loved every minute of it.
Tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do business?
So my main business is financial education. I coach people on money, finances, mindset around finances, ins and outs, what they have access to, how things work.
Okay, and so we know that of course, we some say that we're heading to a recession, and some people have been struggling since the coronavirus pandemic financially. Would you say that what you do is a vital part of helping people get back on track financially?
Without a doubt, vitally essential.
Because we know we get some some very harsh judgment. For people to say, it's 2 years, it's been 2 years, and I'm still, not financially stable, since COVID. And whenever I see comments about that, I get really angry. They be like, get a job, get 2 jobs, get 3 jobs. Just so judgmental, and I know people, have been coming to, like financial coaches, and, they have a lot to say, about that. What encouragement do you have for people that are still struggling after the pandemic?
Again, like I mentioned before, is be open-minded and willing to follow what your coach says. You know, if you got a good coach that is where you want to be and know how to get you through that, you know, be open-minded and follow what they say, implement what they say to do. Because a lot of people, they get coaches in whatever, finances, soccer, ballet, whatever, and they'll coach and tell them one thing, no, I'm going to do this.
Okay, we got about a few more minutes here, but I understand that you're getting ready to write some books. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so
I got a few.
let's talk a little bit about that. So what are some of the books that you're planning on writing?
So I'll just talk about one. It's basically talks about why wait. You know, we always wait for something to happen. When the kids move out, when I graduate, when I get the promotion, you know, then we end up often either missing that opportunity or no longer able to, or the desire's not there anymore. So it talks about why wait, just do it now, you know, figure out how to be at that place now.
And when will this book be available for people to purchase?
It should be out by end of October.
End of October, okay, don't have too long. So if this is the first book that you've written, or
Yeah, it'll be the first one done. So there'll
this
be more to follow, but
so
this
this
is
will be
the
first
focus
book.
right now.
So we would definitely like for you to stay in contact and let us know when that book is coming out, because we do have a podcast called The Authors Showcase, where we invite authors to come in and basically to promote their book. And I have to say that here at OBS Network, that we're getting a lot of requests for authors to be on the show, so much so that we probably going to be booked well into next summer. That's just how many people that we have on the waiting list. So it's apparently the word has definitely been getting around about the author showcase. And I had people come on and say, well, you know, because of the show, you know, I was able to promote my book. So so whenever your book comes out, we definitely like for you to be a guest on the author showcase so that you can talk about it. So we'll have a separate episode for that, but I'm very grateful that you're able to like give a synopsis, you know, of the book. I understand it must be difficult, you know, to write a book. We go through all the signs, you know, we gun ho at first, and then all of a sudden we get to this writer block thing that we have to deal with. I know I have when I first written my book back in 2004. No, not 2014. I read my first book in 2014. Uh, and I experienced everything that writers, you know, normally go to. Unfortunately, I had, you know, individuals that encouraged me to keep on going and, you know, and put that out there. And now it's like 8 years later, and I've written several other books as well, which there will be a future podcast, you know, on that, because I'm a published author too, so I want people to know which books I've written too. So, you know, right that way, then, you know, so I guess I'll be the host and the guest, you know. You know, sometimes, you know, that happens, you know, some people tend to use their platform to, you know, promote themselves, and there's definitely nothing wrong with it. So we're going to get ready to close at this point, but before we go, if people wanted to know more about you, how are they able to reach you?
So the easiest way is my website, ingersollenterprises.weebly.com. And you've got all the links to everything, all my social media, my email, my cell phone, it's all on there. So again, ingersollenterprises.weebly.com.
Okay, well, are you on social media or anything?
Yep, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn.
And how would someone be able to check out your podcast?
So the podcast is called Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. And you can find that on my Facebook profile. Again, links are on the website to all of that. You can search it on YouTube. So several ways to find me.
Well, Kenny, thank you so much for being part of this podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to join us here today. And best wishes on everything that you're doing. Please keep us updated about your book when it's first coming out. I'm sure you're excited about that. So just keep us updated about your book launch and things of that nature. And hopefully we can get you on in the future to do an interview about your book on the author show.
That'd be awesome for sure.
Okay, and so we got another podcast coming up in about 30 minutes at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time. That's about 30 minutes from now. We have another edition of the works that we will be doing. Our guest would be Antoinette Logan, a lady with, she's an author, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and she is a podcaster in her own right. And we will have her as a guest in the next 30 minutes. So I hope that you will join us. Until then, have a great evening.
Thanks again. Have a good one.